Hi, I'm Ganesh Singh, Secretary of the Caribbean Council for the Blind, and I'm from Guyana, which is on the South American coast, but considered part of the Caribbean. Blindness services across the region is something that we've been trying for the past few years to improve, because many of our brothers and sisters with vision disabilities have access to limited rehabilitation services and also to mobility and orientation skills training. At the Caribbean Council for the Blind level, we've implemented an inclusive education forum where we pull together teachers and other persons working in the area of blindness education or blind education to share information, develop strategies, and create that framework so that we can push for a better education system for persons with vision disabilities across the region. The Caribbean Council for the Blind, due to financial constraints, we are not able to implement or support our member agencies across the region in implementing more blindness services, but we try to provide that framework, that guidance. We provide technical resources through manuals, modules, and so forth, so that they can implement programs. We try to certify the rehabilitation officers whenever they get funding to implement programs and so on. So we try to provide that support at the regional level, but our funding is very limited. But we've been trying, and the organization is trying to improve our funding base through vision centers, where we try to make them profitable by providing low-cost eyeglasses to persons across a few of the Caribbean countries, Antigua, Jamaica, to an extent Guyana, and soon to be in the Eastern Caribbean. Coming up in a few, well, probably a month and a half time, we're going to have the quadrennial meeting of the Caribbean Council for the Blind, where we're going to have representation from about 15 Caribbean countries at that meeting, and we're also going to have a one day to come up with a new strategic plan for the next 5 years for the organization. So everybody is going to be involved in that. In addition, we're going to have a 2-day Marrakesh Treaty workshop funded by the World Blind Union in partnership with the Caribbean Council for the Blind, and we're going to have WBU personnel facilitating that in partnership with 2 trainers that were trained by WBU last year from the region, the Caribbean region. So when our participants from the various Caribbean countries are trained and empowered with the knowledge in the Marrakesh Treaty, we're hoping that they can go back to the various countries and advocate for the ratification of that treaty by their respective governments, so that we can have that network to access, or we can be able to access more published materials and ensure that persons who are blind and visually impaired have that access to improve their knowledge base, and also when it comes to studying at the various levels, especially at the tertiary level, because at the high school level we have our own textbooks, our own curriculum, and so forth in the region, which is not very difficult to access in alternative formats. But when it comes to the tertiary level, that's where we need access to materials. But that's what's coming up at CCB level, and we're hoping to continue to work with our members forum, the Inclusive Education Forum, and trust that funding would be available for us to implement blindness services across the region for our members.